Welcome to Drill Down Earnings, a quick look at Snap, the company that brings us Snapchat, brings me Snapchat, hope it brings you Snapchat. Brings me great joy to give you the business story behind one stock on the move. I'm Cory Johnson, the Chief Market Strategist for the Futurum Group. Second quarter earnings from Snap, they were okay, but the guidance was bad and the market hated these numbers. So was it a beat? Sure, it was a beat. Who cares? The guidance was a miss. Let's dig into the business here, not just the miss or the beat. That just tells us if Wall Street analysts were right and they were wrong about the future of this business. So here's what the business did. In the second quarter, Snap reporting second quarter revenues up 16% on a year-over-year basis. And that's the number, well, we'll talk about the remember, but 16% year-over-year numbers, up to $1.237 billion in revenues. Daily active users increasing 9%. To 432 people on Snapchat every single day. That's amazing. Now they've averaged a 16% return over the last 5 on a year-over-year basis here, and that's pretty solid for this business, but they're losing a ton of money. Think of this, right? They had $1.24 billion in revenues, and yet they lost $250 million or $249 million in the quarter. The real concern here was their outlook when they're telling us that whatever's going on in the advertising market, they think their revenue growth is going to be more like 12 to 16%, not the 16% that they just racked up in top line numbers. So when we dig a little bit deeper in what do they actually deliver to us this quarter, maybe we can start to see a sign of it. So in North America, their average revenue per user was $7.67. Outside of the US, it was $2.86 per user. Now, their daily active users are growing globally, up 9%. But in North America, it's completely flat. 100 million users now, 100 million users last quarter, 100 million users last year, 100 million users before that. They are stuck at that number, it seems, in the United States. But in the rest of the world, they're growing at 16%, where most of their users are outside of the US, but most of their revenues are inside the US and that advertising market not growing as fast as they had hoped. So how did the stock react when the numbers came out? The stock sold off big time, 17% sell-off in this big company in after-hours trading. In the last year, the stock was already down 14%. So really dramatic times for the share price of this money-losing company that is not growing users in the US. And nonetheless, Snap CEO Evan Spiegel talked about their focus on Spotlight. The thing that they're doing to try to present made content, people like me making content for Snapchat users, well, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube users, but Snapchat someday, surely in the future, if they keep growing like this, I think maybe ought to be there. I mean, leave a comment, let me know. But here's what Evan Spiegel had to say about Spotlight, their real focus on cultivated content for Snapchat.
We've definitely been excited about the growth in Spotlight time spent, the uptake of that service, and certainly it's been a source of inventory growth for us. I think, if I compare, time spent on Spotlight to other short video services, I think we have an enormous amount of headroom, on Snapchat. That's part of the reason why we focus so much on this combined content experience. We know how much our community loves stories, and we really believe that a combined experience that combines the stories format with short form video will be most compelling and easiest to use, especially in terms of content discovery. So the team's been working very hard on that. We continue to make progress in terms of model improvements. We've seen some great growth in terms of Spotlight submissions, and that's helping with overall content supply. One big area of focus for us in the coming months is really around model freshness and making sure that we are updating our models quickly enough to learn from engagement with new pieces of content, so that we can serve the freshest possible original content to our community, and not have to wait for days in some cases for us to understand and leverage that signal.
So maybe smart, Evan Spiegel, understanding that if you don't have engagement of your users, especially when you're losing money like this, you don't have anything, and he's got to continue to focus on that. It sounds like he's certainly doing that. But what's the number that takes away our big drill on earnings takeaway? The number that tells us a whole lot about this, the number to remember about this quarter of Snap. I've got that for you right after this.
The drill down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
Snap just reporting Q2 earnings. They were okay. The Wall Street guidance, though, was terrible, and the stock selling off big time. Here's your essential summary. We had $1.237 billion in revenues, an increase over the previous year, but no users added in the US. And although users are being added globally, they don't pay as much, or advertisers don't pay as much to reach them. So it's going to be painful for Snap going forward. Revenue's not growing as fast, and Wall Street didn't like it. I promised you the drill down earnings bite, the one number that tells you a whole lot. That number is 16. 16% was the growth rate this time. It will not be the growth rate next time, according to the guidance given to us from Snap. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings, which is produced by 6.5 Media. I'm Cory Johnson. And you can check me out on X at Cory TV. You can check us out on Drill Down Pod and Instagram and TikTok. Not yet on Snap, maybe someday. But also check out 6.5 Media on YouTube. All kinds of earnings reports and a whole lot more about what's going on right now in the world of technology.